Hello class, and thank you for tuning into your homework. Before you start this homework lesson, make sure you have looked at and understood all of the definitions on page 7, 8, and 9. Before starting the homework, again, make sure you have looked at all of the definitions of vocab on page 7, 8, and 9. Go ahead and pause the video and take a look at those pages before resuming the video. Great. Now that we're here, let's go ahead and dive in on page 13, starting with number 1. For the next 15-ish minutes, we're going to do as many problems as we can to practice what we learned in class today. Starting with number 1. To start with number 1, make sure that you use the diagram located to the right. So we're going to name 4 points on the diagram. As you can see, the diagram has many different points. A point has 0 dimensions and is just a dot, like so. So points include B, C, A, T, D, E. Again, as long as you have 3 of these 6 points, you are correct. Number 3. Name the plane that contains points A, B, and C. Looking at points A, B, and C, they all are located on plane S. We can also call plane S as plane A, B, C, because a plane needs 3 different points, and as long as we have those 3 points, it is considered a plane. Great. Number 5. For number 5 and number 7, we're going to look at a new diagram, so make sure we're all looking at the new diagram on the right. Give 2 other names for line WQ. Line WQ. We have 2 options. The first is to rewrite line WQ, only changing the order, so that's line QW, or we can label the line with a 1 lowercase letter, right? If we look at W and Q, it continues on, never ending, just like a line does, but we see there's a G on that arrow. So that means that it is line G. If a letter is uppercase, it is either a point or a plane. If it is lowercase, then we can use it to label a line. Number 7, name 3 points that are collinear. Then name a 4th point that is not collinear with these 3 points. Collinear means they're on the same line. So we can see that line F has points R, Q, and S. Points R, Q, and S are on the same line. Now we're going to name a 4th point that is not collinear, meaning not on the same line. Point T is not collinear. Again, point T is not collinear. What is another name for BD? BD has no arrows on top of it, so it is a line segment or a segment. What is another name for segment BD? We can see there are many names for this line segment. The best would be just to switch. So instead of segment BD, it's segment DB. However, since segment BD intersects with point E, we could add that in, but for now, let's keep it simple. Number 11. What is another name for ray AE? AE is a ray that starts at point A and continues on past point E. In the diagram, we see that A and E can continue on to the right to C. So if a ray starts at A and continues on to E, it will eventually touch point C and continue on after that. So another name for ray AE is actually ray AC. It's important to note that the E has an arrow pointing to the C, so the C continues on. A is still considered the endpoint. Name two pairs of opposite rays. For number 13, two pairs of opposite rays. Let's go ahead and use A, E, and C. Starting at point E, we have a ray that goes from point E on to point C and never ends. Opposite to E and C, we have E pointing to A and never ending. So E starts and continues on to C and never ends. E starts and continues on to A and never ends. So two pairs of opposite rays form line A, E. Sorry again, line AC. I'm a bit scrambled. Hopefully that helps. Let's move on and continue to page 14, starting with number 15. Here, an error has been made saying that points AD and AC are opposite rays. Following along in your book, we see something of the sort that looks like this, with A here, C here, and D here. AD and AC are not opposite rays. Opposite rays look like this and form a line. So, describe and correct the error. The error is that they are not on the same line. Correcting the error, would be that AD forms an opposite ray with AB. So you can say AB and AD are opposite rays. And we can see that because B, A, and D are on the same line. Number 17. Here, we're going to use our creative skills to draw and sketch a figure. Plane P and line L intersecting at one point. So I'm going to draw plane P. Now I have to draw line L intersecting plane P. So I'm going to go ahead and draw a line never ends, that touches point A and then continues on underneath forever and ever. This line is lowercase l. Now, we're going to go ahead and do number 19. Now, for these questions, 17 through 23, we can use our imagination and get a multitude of answers. I'm just showing the first thing that comes to mind. So we have ray A, B, continuing on forever after B. We also have line AC. So here we know that when we start at A, we're going to get to C, but it doesn't necessarily have to be before or after B. So the C could be after, the C could be before, but this shares with you that the line actually does continue on forever even after point A. So that would be the final figure. Number 21. Plane M and ray and B intersecting at point B. So here we would draw plane M, and we see that ray and B is going to intersect at point B. So it's safe to say that B is a part of plane M. Now we have to find a ray line, so we're going to have a little ray starting at N and then continuing on forever after B. So it's going to continue underneath the plane forever and ever onward. 23, we have plane A and plane B not intersecting. It looks something like this, right? They're parallel to each other. We have A and we have B, and they never intersect. Interestingly to note is that if you drew your planes like this, even though they are not intersecting, the idea is that they would continue on and on and on for infinity and eventually intersect. So the only way they do not intersect is if they are parallel to each other. Again, math teacher, not an English teacher. Let's go on to page 15. We're almost done. So yes, again, thanks for your patience. Number 25. Name a point that is collinear with points E and H. And we're talking about the diagram. So here we see a cube, and we're looking for collinear points that are on the same line as E and H. Looking at E and H, I see that the answer is point J, because it is between the two on the cube. Number 27. Name a point that is not collinear with E and H. So any point that is not on the same line segment as E and H is not collinear. Here we can see I is located on the other side of the cube and is not touching line segment EH. That would make I the answer. Name a point that is coplanar with D, A, and B. So first we have to find the plane that has points D, A, and B. D, A, and B are located on the top of the cube with A, D, C, B, and I. So any other points on this plane are coplanar to D, A, and B. So let's choose point C. Point I is also an appropriate answer. And number 31, name the intersection of plane AEH and plane FBE. So here we have AEH, as well as D and a J right here, intersecting with FBE, FBE. So F, B, great. So as you can see, plane EFB intersects the other plane on line segment AE. Starts here, ends here, line segment AE. As promised, 15 minutes, nothing more. Thank you so much for participating, and I look forward to seeing you on class on Wednesday. See you then.